Friends, Brian here for Be Better Personal Training, your personal training in the Pontiac region, serving Shawville, Fort-Coulonge, Portage du Fort, Ile-du-Grand, Calumet, Campbell's Bay, and so much more. And even further, Pembroke, Renfrew, Arnprior. If you want the absolute best personal training and best value for your dollar, I'm your guy. It's worth sometimes taking the extra drive. If you're someone who's a little bit further out of the region, but you still want to connect with me, just contact me through pontiacpersonaltraining@gmail.com and we will set up some online consultations and help you get on the right track. Okay, today I want to talk to you guys about something that's very real, something that's out there in society. We talk about, it's kind of like a weird thing to talk about, but it's killing people. And, you know, as we all know, if we look around society, we are a very overweight and very sick society. You guys know me by now. You know my story. I've been obese a few times as an adult. I've talked about that in other videos, but I want to tell you guys something. It's called food addiction, okay? And it is out there. For me personally, I've never been one to drink. I've never been one who was into recreational drugs, anything like that. Food was always my poison, okay? So, hey, if I was out somewhere at a get-together and someone's like drinking, offering me a drink, I'd be like, do you want to take this drug? Do you want to get some pizza? Now we're talking, okay? But here's the problem. Food addiction is very, very real, and food is so easily accessible to a lot of us. We do it for a lot of emotional comforting. This is something in my consultations, depending on how deep someone wants to get to really tackle this, I say to them, when did the weight start going on, okay? Often, usually, for a lot of people, maybe as a teenager, some people have suffered trauma. Maybe there was some type of, they were under constant stress. Okay, maybe they were, these are deep topics I'm not going to get into in these videos, but maybe people were abused. Maybe they had an abusive upbringing. It could be a lot of things. But I like to get people to think about what it is about food and when did it start and when did they start having problems. For a lot of people, food's very comforting, right? It's there, it's easy. I can think of times in my life when I would turn to food. Maybe some dark times, some bad times in my life, I would turn to food. What saved me a lot, though, is that I always had a love of training, okay? So even when I'd be off the wagon and I wasn't training, I always had an idea about proper training, nutrition. And then as I got older, in my 40s, I had trained with some of the best coaching and the best people in the industry in North America, which really helped me out a lot as well. Food addiction, okay? I like to talk about this with clients. What is it about food? Have you ever watched that show, My 600-Pound Life? Okay, I have a lot of empathy for these people, but sometimes where I get angry and frustrated with them is they always seem to be pointing the finger at other people, okay? And sometimes they tend to have enablers. But the thing is, you gotta take responsibility, okay? I've told the story many times of, just a few years ago, I was really overweight. I got very sick with what was going around the world, and I had a lot of problems with that, and I started having side problems with that, and I wasn't able to go to the gym, and I started eating, and then I started eating bad food, and then it got worse and worse. I was almost 350 pounds, but because my 50th birthday was coming up, I knew what to do, I knew how to eat, I knew how to train, I knew everything I needed to do. What was it, in 6 months I lost 70 pounds? I got in trouble for that on social media. People were saying, hey, I even had an Instagram account shut down. People were like, oh, this isn't true. This isn't realistic. No, it is, if you know what the hell you're doing. So all of you people out there who are really struggling and not getting the results you want, maybe you need to talk to someone who knows how to get those results and knows how to help you, okay? But hey, that's up to you to do that. So food addiction, again, why is it that we go to food? So many people go to food and people are, they're ashamed. They're like, oh my God, we have those private moments. Most of us, we're getting out of the shower. We're getting a little older. We're packing some weight on. And we're like, oh my God, what happened to me? It's not a nice feeling. We all have those moments. I don't care who you are. What is it with the food? I watched that show, My 600-Pound Life. It's just incredible how much people can eat. I've been overweight. My highest weight was about 350 pounds, which was getting up there. But, I've been on both sides of the coin. It's much better when you're in shape and healthy and happy and everything's working really well. And, that was another thing I loved when I got back in shape a couple of years ago, is that it made my body feel a lot younger. And it was a nice feeling. But getting back to food addiction, okay? I like to say to people, well, what is it about food? Why? What are the triggers, right? Triggers. Okay? You'll know because a lot of people, they eat when they're bored. okay? There's a trigger. Boredom can be a trigger for a lot of people. But a lot of it is trauma, okay? Maybe, you know, you've gotten out of a bad relationship, or maybe you're in a bad relationship and it's a coping mechanism. You just have to eat all the time because you feel like this is the only thing I can do, right? But food addiction. I know what it's like. I have empathy for people who have that, but I also see the potential in people, okay? So I'm a lot of things, and I'm someone who's going to be honest to a fault with you, okay? But I also see the potential in a lot of people. I see a lot of people that are like, oh, I can't. I see, man, that person could just be a freaking beast if they wanted to be, right? So when people think of this word diet, okay? So when I start educating clients about diet is a dirty word, okay? It just has a negative feeling to it. Oh, diet. Ugh. Try and flip it around. Think of it as empowerment, okay? You know, I've talked to you guys about your 3 macronutrients. We've got protein, carbs, and fats, okay? Now, carbs, you know, when you're doing heavy training and you're exercising, carbs are important. We don't run from carbs here at Be Better Personal Training, but we're very mindful of them. We're mindful of how much of them we eat, which of them we eat, and when we eat them. So if you're worried about going on a carb-free diet, that's not us, okay? But we are very conscious, okay? Fats, good fats are very important. Protein, okay? Now again, guys, I'm a guy who's been around a long time. I did get my certifications for personal training. But you know, it always amazes me when I see someone who's like, you know, doesn't have my pedigree with lifting, but a whole bunch of paperwork. And I'm like, yeah, no. There's just, I don't know, there's something weird about that to me. They've been in the gym and they've been working out for 2 years. And then they're trying to talk to someone who's been working out for 30 years, who's competed, who's done all kinds of stuff. It's kind of like, eh. But anyway, if they're trying to do good in the world, though, I like it. But you know what? If you want to gauge a good personal trainer, go to a gym, okay? Watch the personal trainer with a client. If they're on the treadmill and they're kind of on their phone texting all the time, there's a lot of bad personal trainers out there, my friend. I even heard recently someone I know in another area, they paid a personal trainer a considerable amount of money for sessions, and then they got ghosted, okay? This happens. This happens, folks. So, protein, though, okay? What are the fears? Why are we afraid with the word dieting? Okay, but dieting properly, when you're exercising, you're doing your cardio, you're doing your resistance training, okay? We're working on your recovery. I'm teaching you how to build your body to lose fat and put on muscle, okay? Protein. It's a very important macronutrient, and you know, I've been doing this a long time, and there's a correlation to hitting the right amount of protein when you're doing this and losing body fat, okay? So for me, they say for protein, like a lot of people, they're like, oh, but I'm worried about having to diet. Okay. But you know what? I actually find, and a lot of my clients can attest to this, they get sick of eating because you have to eat a lot of protein in your diet. So after a while, it's kind of like, man, this is kind of a pain. I got to eat, I got to eat, I got to eat. There's a correlation I found between hitting the right amount of protein in your diet, which I go over in person with clients. So we get the details down of how much they should be eating and how much protein they should be eating. So I never go hungry. Okay. Now, what are other things that people are worried about? Well, what about my favorite meals, right? So if we have a cheat meal, so our cheat meal, okay? I let clients have a cheat meal once a week, okay? Especially in phase 1, because what happens is phase 1, we're building good habits. You have a proper training program. You're learning how to train properly. That's going to be effective, customized by me once I get to know you. But we're going to start going over some diet guidelines to help you get on the right path. If you overwhelm someone by giving them all this stuff, saying, do this, do this, do this. I've said this in a past video. If someone says, January 1st, I'm going to get a gym membership and I'm just going to eat chicken and kale, they're done by the night of January 1st. They just don't know it yet. But if we give dietary guidelines to help people getting on the right track and building proper habits, it can go a long way, because once things become a habit, all right, so cheat meal. Usually I say, okay, have your cheat meal, have it earlier in the day, try and target a weekend, okay? You're working hard all week, you've done your food prep, you're eating your meals, you're not gonna go hungry, you're not gonna feel deprived, okay? So when we have our cheat meal, usually have it on a weekend, and I say, okay, make it good. You know, eat, you know, if you want a burger and some fries, go someplace where they make a really good burger and fry, okay? But you know what? You know, I'm going to use an example, okay? Let's say Five Guys, okay? It's a great burger joint. It's hard to go wrong there. You go there, you get a nice burger, Get a small fry. You can share it with your partner because a small fry at Five Guys is like a large fry anywhere else. Share it with your partner, okay? Have a nice diet drink. Don't drink sugary drinks. I'll get into that in another video. And then, but do it earlier in the day. So then after say, hey, we're going to go to the mall and walk around. Or hey, we're going to go to the park after. Or hey, we're going to just walk along the river, because then you're having it earlier in the day and you're burning some of it off for the rest of the day. If you order a large pizza and eat it right before you go to bed, it's not good. It's going to cause hormonal disruption with your insulin and growth hormone before bed. I don't recommend that. But yes, have a cheat meal and enjoy your cheat meal, okay? So when people are starting off, have your cheat meal, enjoy it. The other thing people worry about are eating their sweets. Okay? For me, I was the type of guy, I couldn't care less about salty food. For me, it's sweets. Sweets are my big thing. But what we do is we have some little sweet hacks that we do. We have some protein treats, okay, that don't have sugar in them. And we also have a little keto cheesecake thing that we do with a recipe that we have with some pecans and some sugar-free salted caramel sauce, stuff like that. There's all kinds of little hacks, but when you are a member of our group, if you're a client and you're paying me, you're going to be part of our online group. So you're going to be talking with people in a private group who are all motivated. They're clients. We're sharing recipes. We're talking about all these different things to help keep you on track, folks. Here at Be Better Personal Training, we don't skimp out on anything. You are offered the best in everything personal training to help you reach your goals. So food addiction, okay? Spend time on yourself. Think, okay, when did I start putting this weight on? What was going on in my life? For a lot of people, it was a form of abuse. Maybe they're in a very bad relationship. So again, we're doing this, we want to build proper habits, teach people how to properly and safely build their body, lose fat, optimize themselves hormonally. Again, if I have a client and they're working really hard and after 3 months or so, they're not getting the results I think that they should get, I have a doctor that I can send them to who will do proper blood testing to see what's going on with hormonally, see if there's anything going on that we've missed, if they have any underlying conditions. So this is a very complete personal training program. You're not going to see anything else around in this area. So again, I know for many of you, people are you're just going to stay to what you're doing and you're going to keep going further and further down that path. And hey, you have to do what you have to do. But I know there's some of you sitting out there watching this video right now going, you know what? I want more. I am sick and tired of being sick and tired. Food's not going to control me. I want to be empowered. I want to lose weight. I want to look better. I want to be fit. I want to be stronger. And I want to be healthier and I want to prolong my life. You are the people that I am talking to. Contact me at Pontiac Personal Training and let's set up a consultation today. The choice is yours, folks. I'm offering you an opportunity. I'm offering you the keys to the Lamborghini, but I can't make you go in and I can't make you get in the car and take a drive, my friends. It's up to you. You guys have a great day. Talk soon.